Hi, I'm Charla. Welcome to Freezer Meals 101. Today we are going to be doing kid-friendly freezer meals. And the reason that I'm doing this is because my husband and I are hopefully going away on a trip. He earned a trip through his work. I'm able to go along with him. We have a friend coming to stay at the house with kids, and I am just super excited at the thought of some time away with my husband and a break. And last year really had some big things in it. One of our daughters got married, which was fantastic, but it was a lot of work planning the wedding. And one of our daughters had surgery. Another one of our daughters spent a lot of time in the hospital. So I could really use a break. And the thought of being able to get away for, it's a little more than a week. So it's pretty exciting. And so I'm trying to plan for all the things. And one of the things that I want to do is set our friend who is coming to stay with our kids up with freezer meals that I know our kids will eat, because it does not help her. Yes, right now there are meals in the freezer, but if my kids are going to be picky and not eat what she makes, I know that's going to be discouraging for her, and that's really something only I should have to deal with. So I just want to make recipes that I know are going to be completely no fail for every single one of my kids, that they're going to happily eat them. And I also want to make these recipes where they are super easy for her, where she doesn't even have to do anything, because my kids are old enough that they can put something into the oven or microwave, whatever, that kind of thing. So these recipes are chosen specifically for that purpose. I want to make her life as easy as possible because we're so thankful that she is helping us. Now, there is probably about a 50% chance that we are not going to get to go on this trip, which would be pretty disappointing, I have to say. But even if we don't get to go, I still want to have these meals, because while I'm having my pity party and crying, eating cookies in my bed, okay, I won't do that, but I will feel like doing that. Anyway, so while that is going on, I would like to also have it easy for myself, where I don't really have to think about dinners and where I can kind of take a little bit of a break. Because the truth is, even if we are home for that time and don't get to go on the trip, I still don't have the usual, my life is usually jam-packed with appointments because of some of our kids' special needs. And so I have booked no appointments for that time. And so it'll be like a little bit of a break anyway, even if we're home in the very, very cold Canadian winter and not on a tropical beach. But anyway, as you can tell, I am really hoping that the trip does not get canceled. But in our life, there are a few things, coming up that make it so that it might not happen. Like, we're meeting with our daughter's surgeon 2 times before we go, and it looks like everything's good, and she's healed up and everything seems great, but we have to be able to get the go-ahead. And then there's that pesky pandemic that's going around, and our country is really, really strict about travel, and so we have to be sure that that's all open, and that we're able to go for that reason. And then we have another one of our kids with some medical stuff that we have to sort out and make sure that everyone is that it's super safe for us to leave, because we are responsible parents, and we are only gonna go if everything lines up. So sorry, I didn't need to give you my whole life story, but all that to say that today we are making kid-friendly freezer meals, and I'm guessing that your kids will enjoy at least some of these recipes, if not all of them, if they have tastes similar to my kids. Or actually, these are just universally kid-friendly. So I'm gonna tell you what we are making. We are making spaghetti sauce. How can you go wrong with that? Scrambled egg bites. Those are awesome for busy mornings when the kids need to be getting off to school or whatever, and they can just microwave them on a paper towel. So they can make them themselves, pull them out of the freezer, microwave them, and take them literally on the bus with them if they're running late. So the scrambled egg bites are awesome. A tortellini bake. The tortellini bake, sometimes we do an Alfredo tortellini bake, but not all of my kids like Alfredo. So this time we're gonna try the tortellini bake a little bit differently. We're gonna do it with a red sauce, and I'm gonna sneak maybe a little tiny bit of vegetables in there, at least onions, but we'll see what I think I can get away with. And then we're gonna do beef hash, tater tot casserole, because if you've been watching the videos for a while, you know that it is my kids' like absolute favorite. They will eat that like morning, noon, and night. So that's a winner. Pizza casserole is great because it's also a slow cooker. And I mean, if you combine pizza flavors and a pasta, clearly that's a kid winner. And then a ham and potato casserole. And the reason for the ham and potato casserole is because the size of ham that I had to buy, for the pizza casserole, and I'm gonna have to cube it anyway, I might as well do a second ham recipe, and my kids do really like the ham and potato casserole. It's somewhat similar to like a, what do you call that? Hash brown casserole. And very easy to throw together. But since I'm buying the ham anyway, cubing the ham anyway, might as well make more than one meal with it. And of course, it saves money when you use similar ingredients across multiple recipes. So that is the other reason for that. And we're gonna be using half a bag of hash browns in beef hash. And so again, it just makes sense as far as stretching your grocery dollars, and as far as it just saves time to use like ingredients in the recipes you're making. So that is 7 recipes that we're gonna whip up today. These should come together pretty quickly. There's nothing overly complicated on this list. I am going to get started right now. I am happy to have you joining me, and let's go. Let's start with the pizza casserole. I've gone ahead and put the pasta in a medium-sized freezer bag. We're gonna staple that on at the end, and that way towards the end of cooking, because this one cooks up in the slow cooker, or you can do it in the oven. But anyway, towards the end of cooking, you can stir in your pasta. You can use, I usually use small shells, but whatever this is what I had today, so that's what we're using. You can use anything. I also sometimes use rotini. In our main bag, we're going to put cubed ham, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, that's grated of course, onion, green pepper, tomato sauce, Italian seasoning, and if you want, you can add some red pepper flakes if your kids don't mind spicy. This beef hash is another super kid-friendly meal. It is just some frozen hash browns, some browned beef, browned hamburger, finely chopped onion, dry onion soup mix, beef broth, pepper, and then we have already put the shredded cheese in a bag, and we will staple that. That's in a medium-sized freezer bag. We'll staple that to the large freezer bag when we're done. And then on the day that you cook it, you can top it with the cheese at the end. Usually I use cheddar cheese, but I had just enough Tex-Mex to use in this recipe, and of course I'm trying to use up what I already have in the fridge, so that worked out perfectly. Now normally when you make this meal, I suggest you make 2 at a time, because then you have double, but also because you're using half of a 1 kilogram bag of hash browns when you make it, so you might as well use the other half and make a second one, and then you'll have double the meals in your freezer. So this time, instead of making a second beef hash, I am using the rest of that hash brown bag to make the ham and potato casserole. This will give a little bit more variety, which is perfect for what I'm gonna be using this for. And so in here, we've got the rest of those hash browns, got some cubed ham, which Again, we're going to use the cubed ham in the pizza casserole, so it saves you a lot of time if you use like ingredients, because then you're just prepping them one time. So we're also going to do some onions, some cheese. It calls for cheddar, I'm using marble. Basically the same thing. A can of cream of chicken soup, some sour cream, and salt and pepper. As with all the other recipes, this one is down in the description below. The recipes that I chose for today don't need a whole lot of prep, but there were some things that I needed to prep ahead. Some of the vegetables, browning the ground beef, and cutting up the ham, those kind of things. So I have a very short 6-minute video, and I will put the link right up there so that you can go and check out how my kids and I prepped the ingredients for these meals, and that made it so that today it was so fast to throw together, because prep really is one of those key things when you're doing freezer cooking. The other thing that I did is printed off all the recipes, and I was able to do that because I made a meal plan collection in my brand new, you guys, Freezer Meals 101 Club, and I will put the link in the description below. I will also link all the recipes down below. And in the Freezer Meals 101 Club, you can create meal plans, print those recipes off, but also, and here's the awesome thing, you can create shopping lists with those meal plans. You can also double each of the recipes or half each of the recipes or whatever, and your shopping list will change accordingly. So it's a really handy tool, makes freezer cooking even easier, and you can now save even more time and money. So I've been working on that behind the scenes for a while. I've been excited to tell you, but kind of keeping it under wraps until I had it the way I wanted it, because I was really hoping to create a tool that could be as helpful for you as I could possibly make it. Okay, let's get to some more recipes. I waited until now to make the scrambled egg bites because I wanted to see how much of the cubed ham I had left over, because I want to add that, but I wasn't sure if I would have enough, and I do, so I'm going to be able to add the cubed ham into here as well as some of our leftover veggies, so works out really well. These are a special request from my second oldest son. He loves to have them before he goes to work, so I'm happy to make them for him. All you're gonna do is you're gonna spray your muffin tin really well. Now I'm using a stoneware muffin tin, so they'll pop out pretty easily whether I spray it or not, but if you're using a metal muffin pan, then you definitely want to give it a really good spray or it's going to be a pain to clean. Then you're going to break 1 egg in each of the muffin tins, and you're going to just whisk that with a fork and then add some salt and pepper. Then you're going to put whatever you want as your mix-ins. So you could do some bacon or ham. You can do them vegetarian if you want. You can do different veggies. So you can do peppers, jalapeno if you want, onion, whatever. And then if you want to top it with some cheese, you can. But the important part is you're going to want to take that fork again and just press those ingredients down into the egg mixture before you bake them. Then you'll bake them in the oven, and again, you can get very detailed instructions with the recipe that's in the description below. So now those are done, and there is a very quick breakfast for your kids or you to grab on the go. Now for the scrambled egg bites, one thing that I forgot to mention is that you want to cool these completely before you put them in the bag. You don't even want to put them in the bag when they're still warm and like not yet freeze it or not yet seal it, because even that will cause there to be moisture in the bag, and then it ruins the texture completely of these egg bites. I have learned this the hard way, and now I know to allow them to cool completely before I add them into the freezer bag, And then of course, I'm gonna take out like all the excess air that I can in that bag, just like I do for every single recipe, because air is what causes your freezer burn. So we really like to avoid air when we're doing our freezer cooking around here. And yeah, that is a really important tip that I forgot to give you for the scrambled egg bites. Let's get on to the next recipe. For the spaghetti sauce, we've got some browned ground beef in there. We're gonna add onion, green pepper, garlic, some tomato sauce, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, water, a bay leaf, parsley. You can add some melted honey or sugar. We're not gonna add that today. Oregano, basil, thyme, salt and pepper. And again, the recipe is down below. Really, there is no going wrong with spaghetti sauce, and it freezes beautifully. Now I know that when I say kid-friendly freezer meals, I'm gonna get the question of, but my son doesn't eat onions, or my daughter would never eat a green pepper. So the solution to that is really simple. Just make this spaghetti sauce without onions, or make it without green pepper. Or if you want to get a little inventive, then you can put the vegetables through a blender, make them so that they can't see them, and hide it in the spaghetti sauce. Anyway, you know your child best, so you know what they'll eat, and you can adapt the recipes accordingly. Now we're at the ever famous Tater Tot Casserole, which again, my kids adore, but it's not all that healthy. I suppose you can count the tater tots as a vegetable since they're technically potatoes, and it does have protein with the Italian sausage, but other than that, there's not a lot of nutritional value. But they'll eat it, it fills them up, so it does serve a purpose. Now we've gone ahead and put the cooked Italian sausage in a medium-sized freezer bag. We're gonna staple that on at the end, and then you're gonna put that in the bottom of the casserole dish and layer the large bag on top on the day that you cook it. Hey, if you've watched my videos for a while, you know that I didn't have a whisk. Haven't had a whisk for a few years, and I've been meaning to get one. Well, my mom watches my videos, and she heard me say that I don't have a whisk. So for Christmas, look what I got from my mom. So I now have a whisk, which is awesome. So we're just gonna whisk together a can of mushroom soup and some evaporated milk. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper and paprika, whisk that together, pour that over the tater tots, and then we're gonna staple that bag to the Italian sausage bag, and that's it, another meal done. We're gonna whip up a really easy tortellini bake. We're just gonna do the cheese tortellini, some spaghetti sauce. We'll do 2 jars, or the equivalent of 2 jars, some onions, and I'm gonna put some other veggies in there and see how it goes with my kids. Hopefully it's good. I'll also add a little bit of garlic. I'm just making this one up as I go along. And then I'm going to put the shredded mozza cheese in a medium-sized bag, staple that to the outside so that it can be put on top the day of baking, and we will have another super kid-friendly, easy freezer meal. Woohoo! I'm actually going to throw together one last meal with some of the leftovers. I'm just going to use a whole variety of what we've got left to make a hamburger soup or some such concoction. And it should be good on the day of cooking. You could add barley or pasta. It's not exactly a recipe because we're just gonna put some of the leftover ground beef that we prepped, some onion, if we've got any vegetables left. I think I've got some zucchini, we're gonna do some beef broth, water, bay leaf, seasoning, and we'll see what else gets in there. Should be good. Now, if you are the praying type, then I ask you to pray that things all come together so that my husband and I can go on this much needed vacation. Otherwise, if you are not, then maybe cross your fingers or send some good wishes our way, because I'm really hoping that by the time you see this video, I will be on a beach with my book or my laptop and enjoying some time away with my husband and not having the kid interruptions. And as much as I love them, I would really love to just have some time, just the two of us. If you're looking for other super easy recipes that your whole family will enjoy, be sure to subscribe and click that little notification bell so that you can find out when one of our new videos is up. We have so many great videos coming your way in the next few months, actually in the next few weeks. Really, I have been working on getting things that I know you're gonna love. If you click right here, it will take you to a video of fast and easy freezer meals, and who doesn't love fast and easy? Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy cooking.